Is Bend, Oregon still affordable? And a possible recession ahead? I know in light of some of the political shifts happening with a new president, possible recession, maybe you're already feeling it, and rising housing costs, you might be asking yourself, do I really want to live out the next 4 years where I am? Unfortunately, we've been here before, where recession was imminent and the future was hazy. 2008 was a time of mass casualties, and let's just hope that we're not about to repeat our mistakes. In today's video, we'll talk about the possibility of recession and what you can do to protect yourself in uncertain times. We'll compare the cost of living in Bend to big cities like LA and Seattle, and break down the income potentials to see if it makes sense for you. Let's dive in. The looming recession, what it means for your home purchase. First off, let's talk about the economy. With recession fears rising, inflation going nowhere but up, and uncertainty in the air, living in expensive big cities like LA or Seattle can be very stressful. There's no denying there is a looming recession on the horizon. If you monitor the stock market or are wondering why your grocery bills went from $200 to $350 for the exact same items, you might already feel like it's here. The political shift in both state and federal governments could seriously impact housing prices, interest rates, and the overall cost of living in the next few years even more. But let's be real, it's probably time. When some friends of mine bought a house for $1.3 million and 2 years later sold it for a $500,000 gain, you have to wonder, how long can this last? Not only that, but if you're like most people in tech or corporate work and you have fears of losing your job or being called back into the office after 5 years of flexibility and walking your dog between conference calls, you have some very big decisions to make. Those questions aren't just who's going to do your laundry and be there when the cable guy comes at noon, but does anyone have a cable guy anymore?
Hey, wait, come back.
Well, look who decided to show.
You were supposed to be here 4 hours ago.
Was I? So, I'm the tardy one?
But maybe how you're going to manage as prices increase and the income gap widens. Let's talk about why Bend, Oregon could be your secret weapon in a recession. Bend, Oregon. If you have considered it but haven't done much else, it might be time to take a closer look, especially if you're sick of paying sky-high prices in big cities. Here's why buying a home in Bend could be the smartest move you'll make in 2025. Bend might actually be a more stable choice in uncertain times. Unlike large metropolitan areas that rely heavily on industries like tech or entertainment, Bend's economy is diversified with lots of entrepreneurs and business owners, and a strong tourism and outdoor recreation sector. While Seattle and LA are driven by huge job markets, high demand, and limited supply, Bend's market is actually a little more stable. It's growing, but at a pace that doesn't feel like a roller coaster. There's so much room for growth because Bend is still considered a small city. New homes and buildings are going up all over because of the high demand for people just like you, realizing that city living isn't all it's cracked up to be, especially after seeing what happened in COVID. People are flocking to Bend for a reason, and it might just be the perfect place to buy before everyone else figures it out. Since COVID, there's been a boom in entrepreneurs and the work from home movement. Bend, Oregon has become a well-known city, not just nationally, but globally. Home prices in LA and Seattle. Is there any hope for home buyers? Home prices in places like LA and Seattle may be stagnating with the rise in interest rates, but they're still very high. Median home prices in LA are around $850,000. And that may sound somewhat reasonable to some, but we're not talking beachfront property here. And in Seattle, the median home price hovers around $750,000 to $800,000. Again, these are not luxury homes, and they're probably surrounded with crime. When you're facing layoffs and job uncertainty in a recession, buying a home in those cities is still an uphill battle. Even if you can buy a place now, you could still be on the hook for a massive mortgage. And when interest rates are high, that means you're paying even more per month just to live in an overpriced home. So much so that you could end up in a position of negative equity, and nobody wants that, especially after 2008. And don't even get me started on property taxes or the cost of living in these cities. I'll never forget the day I opened our electrical bill and it was close to $600 just to cool our home. The 73 toll road was right near our house when we lived there, and as convenient as it was to avoid traffic, those bills were consistently around $500 too, and that was almost 10 years ago. So $1,000 to be cool and go faster. I can only imagine what they are now. Let's just say we weren't going to get ahead anytime soon if we didn't leave California, and that might be the case for you too. Staying in a place where it costs money to park your car isn't exactly a great option if you're looking for financial stability and growth, especially when the economy is looking really shaky. Why Bend is a more stable option for home buyers. The median home price here in Central Oregon is around $650,000, which is a big difference compared to the crazy prices in LA and Seattle. Since I've lived here, Bend has seen a price increase in recent years as more people discover how unique Bend is. But even with the rise, it's still more affordable compared to those big cities, especially when you consider what you get. Beautiful outdoor landscapes, a quieter lifestyle, and a more manageable real estate market. I'm going to take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this video and the information I'm providing, I would really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you can get notified when my videos come out. And it also alerts the algorithm to put these videos in front of other viewers that would benefit from this information. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover that I didn't in this video, feel free to leave a comment as well. Thanks a bunch, and back to our regularly scheduled program. The impact of recession on home prices. Here's where it gets interesting. In major cities, we've already seen the impact of rising interest rates. Prices aren't plummeting, but they aren't climbing either. They're stalling in many areas, and buyers are starting to feel the pinch. Historically, when recessions hit, high-priced cities like LA and Seattle often see home prices stall or even drop, but usually not enough to make them affordable again, especially with such a discrepancy on the income gap happening nationwide. And let's not forget about the stimmies. During the 2020 pandemic, we had a lot of money flood the economy. Fortunately, unfortunately. So we have to remember that even though things might be tight for you, they may not be for the person that put all their stimmies into the stock market when we've had a bull market for over 20 years. These cities are just too expensive for most first-time home buyers to get in. If you already own a home and are looking to upgrade and don't have a ton of cash stashed away, you might get a good amount if you sell your house, but upgrading to something else could be out of reach still. Why Bend is a more stable option for home buyers. Bend's market, on the other hand, is more sustainable. Home prices here might plateau, but they won't crash like they could in the big metro areas. So if you're looking to plant yourself in Bend, you're entering a market that's growing, but not as erratic as those in LA or Seattle. You can get more for your money, and you're less likely to get stuck in a massive, overvalued market. Plus, your electrical bills are way more affordable. Okay, before I get to my final topic, if you're serious about making a move to Oregon, please reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, whatever it takes. We love helping people just like you find the right area and home here in Oregon. We know moving can be stressful, and we're here to help get your questions answered and get you plugged in. All right, for my last and final topic, real income and how far your dollar goes in Bend versus Seattle or LA. We all know it's not about how much you make, but how much you keep. Thank you, Robert Kiyosaki. In LA, you're looking at an average income of about $60,000. In Seattle, it's a bit higher at $70,000. And sure, that's decent, but those salaries will not cut it to keep up with high cost of living and home prices. Maybe 5 years ago, but absolutely not today. In Bend, the average income might be a bit lower at around $50,000, but guess what? Your money could stretch so much further here. The cost of living is lower across the board, and the money goes a lot further because home prices are much more reasonable and basic living expenses are lower too. You might earn less in Bend, but you'll actually have more disposable income. And isn't that what we all want? Plus, most of the people in Bend are entrepreneurs. Maybe it's time to start that business. If you feel like you're stuck in a city where your dream home is way out of reach and the thought of losing your job or going through an economic downturn, living in that concrete jungle you're in, makes you queasy, you're not alone. And I think Ben might be a good solution for you. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you or anyone you know is serious about making a move to Oregon, please reach out at the number or email listed below, nights, weekends, whenever. We're happy to help you find your ideal location and dream home all over Oregon. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Until next time, stay tuned for my next video where I'll tell you everything you need to know about vibrantly living in Oregon.